Hey, it's me, Clustar, and this video is every single Call of Duty Treyarch Zombies map ranked from worst to best based on your votes. And I got a total of 480 votes, which is absolutely insane. Thank you guys so much for participating in this poll. Even if you didn't participate and you wish you would have, don't worry, I'm going to do this again after the cycle of Black Ops 4 or whatever the new Treyarch game is going to be, because at the time of this video it hasn't been announced yet. And then one thing I just really want to point out, just because it's so interesting, is that every single one of these maps had at least one person rank it as their best, and all these maps also had at least one person rank it as their worst as well, which is very interesting to me. So this means there's going to be some of you who are going to be very disappointed to see your maps very low on this list, but there's also going to be a majority of you guys who's going to be very excited to see their map at the top spots. So anyways, let's see what your rankings were. I'm excited! According to you guys, the worst map in all of Call of Duty Treyarch Zombies with an average rank of 15.415 is Tranzit. And this isn't surprising at all, because anywhere you go on the internet, there's always people dissing and hating on Tranzit, and it's honestly like a meme at this point. So the first time you play Tranzit, it really is such a unique experience because it feels like an adventure game. There's so many different areas to explore, and there's so many buildable parts you have to figure out where they go and what it does, and just so much mystery to it. But then once you figure everything out and you play again and again, it's just, do I really have to do all of this? There's just such a tedious nature to this map, because everything is so spread apart, and everything you do on this map takes a lot of time. Plus there's not really any good reliable transportation systems, and the bus is just very random in the way it works, because you can't control when it comes to where you are, and you can't really control when it leaves. And if you try to run through the fog, there's going to be denizens who are going to try to scratch you, and they're going to slow you down, and you have to knife them off of you, and it just really does make for a very annoying experience. But surprisingly, Tranzit wasn't last by very much, because in the number 20 spot, we've got Zetusbou no Shima, which has an average rank of 15.1. And this was very close. Zetusbou no Shima was last place for a lot of this ranking. And to me, this was actually a bit surprising, because even though I knew people hated Zetusbou no Shima, I didn't think they hated it this much. So Zetusbou no Shima, there's not really one big thing I can think of that ruins this map, but there's just so many little things. So one, the spores are so annoying, and it's even more annoying how the spores can even cause the thrashers to spawn by round 4. It's absolutely ridiculous. And the planting system, although it was cool in some aspects, it was just very annoying how you had to keep going back to it every 3 rounds with the same color water. The KT4 is not too bad to get, but the Masamune, it is such a long process to get that weapon. You basically have to do a lot of the Easter egg in order to get this weapon. And this weapon really isn't bad, but it's just not worth all the trouble you have to go through to get it. I know there's a lot more things I can mention, but I don't want this video to go too long, but that's why I think Zetusbou no Shima got number 20. At the number 19 spot with an average rank of 14.644, we've got Die Rise. If I had to describe Die Rise in one word, I would say waiting. Because you always have to wait for elevators in order to either get perks or pack punch, or in order to advance to other levels of the map, unless you decide to buy out all the doors in this map, which you wouldn't want to do unless you had a bunch of points in the bank. And I find that I really can't play a quality game of Die Rise unless I use the bank, or else it's just an extremely long and tedious experience, almost just as long as Tranzit. Okay, maybe that's a little bit of an exaggeration, but there's just so much waiting in this map. Except one redeeming thing is that you could get this liquefier by round 1 without using the bank if you really wanted to. And even worse, when you go down and you lose all your perks in the middle of the round, good luck, because you're not going to be able to get your perks in that round unless you either save a zombie or you just go the whole rest of the game without perks. Because you can never rely on these elevators being on the right level at the right time when you need them to be. So I can't tell you how many times I've gotten a bunch of money from the bank so I can actually have a quality game with this map, and then I die either because I just fall off the edge or I miss my platform I'm trying to land on. I'm sure so many of you guys can relate to that too. But when you actually do have a setup, this map is actually kind of decent. So Die Rise, according to you guys, comes in at number 19. Coming in at number 18, with an average rank of 13.688, we've got Shino Numa, and this is actually very, very surprising to me because Shino Numa is one of my favorite maps in this game. But that's what I like about this list, is that I could like a map and you guys won't like it and rank it low, so just because I like it doesn't mean it's going to get a high ranking. And since this is one of my favorite maps, it's going to be very hard for me to come up with reasons why this map is bad, because I know I gotta be fair to all the maps and describe them depending on what rank they get. So one thing I can mention is that the dogs, I guess, because on the original Shino Numa, they're so hard to kill. Another thing about Shino Numa that might not be so great is Pack Punch. There's no Pack Punch on this map. But I think the main reason why people might not like this map is because the swamp that slows down the player. Like, that swamp can be very annoying to play in, how the zombies can still run fast, but then you just have to jump through, and that's a very easy way to die on this map. So Shino Numa comes in at number 18. At number 17, with an average rank of 13.583, we've got 5. I don't know how to explain it. It's kind of a weird map. So there's 3 levels to it, and each level is relatively small, and there's really only one good training spot on this map, which is the 2nd level. And the Winter's Howl, which is the wonder weapon of this map, really isn't that great, and it's not really going to take you to high rounds at all. So I would say the reason 5 is ranked this low in the list is because it really isn't fun to get on high rounds to. The only way you can get to high rounds is either by using traps on level 1, which you have to be absolute expert to be able to pull off, or you just have to keep grinding and grinding through rounds at the level 2, which will take forever to at least get to round 50. But one of the main complaints I hear about this map is the Pentagon Thief. Now, if you know how to kill this guy and you know that way, okay, I'm sorry, that's a dead meme, but anyways, if you know how to kill this guy, he's not that bad. But if you don't know how to kill this guy is absolutely annoying. But as long as you have the Winter's Howl or the ray gun, he shouldn't be too hard to kill. So you guys put 5 at number 17. In the number 16 spot, you guys put Shangri-la. So Shangri-la is a very difficult map because it's kind of small and it's very, very narrow. And the zombies come out of such outrageous spawns too. But the only thing that keeps it from being the hardest map in the whole entire game is the Baby Maker, because it really is such a great weapon. And then there's also the bosses of this map. First we got the monkey, which can take your drops, and a lot of people don't like this and some people do like this. It can be very annoying if you want to be able to get a drop that you're not able to get at a certain moment, but some people do like this because you could get a free perk from it if you let the monkey take a max ammo. And then there's this Screecher zombie, which is just annoying, and there's the Napalm zombie, which is very dangerous and sometimes shows up at round 5 before you even have jugs. So if you try to do the thing where you run at him then run away, you're gonna get red screened, and if there's a zombie near you, you're probably gonna die. So this is one of those maps where it's really easy to die in lower rounds. So Shangri-la comes in at number 16. In the number 15 spot, barely edging out Shangri-la with an average score of 13.096, we've got Verruckt. So Verruckt is very similar to Shangri-la in the sense that it's a very hard map because it's so narrow, and it's a pretty small map too. There's literally nowhere to train on this map. There is that one spot near Speed Cola where I see a lot of experts do, but that is so hard to pull off. And there's the whole map train. But on World at War, that is just so hard to pull off because there's zombies coming from every single barrier because they spawn all around the map in World at War. And the only real viable way to get the high rounds is by using the traps. And on the World at War version, there's really no wonder weapon except for the ray gun, but that ray gun, you're probably going to kill yourself from the splash damage. Whether you like this map or not really comes down to how much you like the difficulty of your zombies map. If you are a guy who just loves difficult maps, then you probably love this map. But if you're the kind of guy who just likes to train in zombies, probably someone like me, I just like to train. I'm not really that much of a camper. You just probably like other maps, and that's probably why it got only number 15, not anywhere higher. But I must say, camping with friends on this map and seeing how high of a round you can go to is truly such a fun experience. At number 14, with an average rank of 12.627, we've got Nuketown. And now 14 to 8 are kind of in the range where the maps aren't really bad anymore. Now they're just kind of like in the middle or intermediate. And Nuketown, it's a fun map to play on, fun map to just train and like maybe play with friends. But there is one very obvious flaw, or just one very annoying feature with this map, and that's the random perk spawnings. So the problem with this perk spawning is that the perks come in one at a time from round 5 to round 10, round 15, etc. And sometimes you won't get the perk like Jug until about round 20, which is absolutely ridiculous. All I can say about Nuketown is that it's a fun map to play, but I'm pretty sure that most people just get very turned off just by that perk spawning system. In the number 13 spot, you guys put Nacht Der Untoten, with an average rank of 12.042. It's very bare bones map, only got 3 rooms, very small, only wonder weapons, the ray gun, there's no perks, no pack-a-punch. And of course, part of the reason it is not any lower on the list is just because it's the original. How could you be so mean to the original? I think that people just really like that this map is very bare bones and it's just such a simple map where you just play the game, you don't have to worry about saving points for anything except maybe the box. You just mindlessly kill zombies. But I also think that people didn't want to put this very high on the list just because the maps above it were probably just better just because they had more stuff to do within the maps. Because there really isn't that much to do in Nacht Der Untoten. At number 12, with an average score of 11.338, you guys have Call of the Dead. And this is the first true original snow map of Treyarch zombies. And at the time this came out, this map was so innovative. It had so many new elements put into zombies. One element which I think was very rejected and not a lot of people liked was having a boss zombie follow you around the whole map, which was George Romero. Most people do not like this guy, and this is usually the main complaint I always see about Call of the Dead. Oh, how annoying George Romero is. Because he has so much health and it takes so much damage to be able to kill him. But killing him is just so satisfying, getting that perk and getting that death machine or even Wonder Waff. And Call of Dead did add not only 1, but 2 new wonder weapons. The Scavenger, which is pretty good, and the VR11, which is only good on co-op. You guys put Call of the Dead at number 12. At number 11, with an average rank of 10.467, we've got Revelations. So Revelations has almost every other non-Black Ops 3 map, plus Der Eisendrache, put into it. How can it not be number 1? Alright, I'm just messing with you guys. Revelations was just such a hyped up idea. So many people wanted to see all the maps combined into one. And that idea alone probably did give this map a little boost up. And plus the visuals are absolutely amazing in this map. This map had so much potential to be a top 5 map, but where it all came apart was that 1, they didn't really do anything to innovate, and 2, I think it was just a little bit too easy. And when I say a little, I mean a lot too easy. And that easy aspect is probably what people like about this map. People can just come onto this map and know that they can just have fun and just play to whatever round they want. So you guys put Revelations at number 11. In the number 10 spot with an average rank of 10.317, we've got Ascension. And this was actually a little bit surprising to me because I always see people who love this map and I almost never see people who hate this map. So first, let me go over some positive things about this map. 1, there's multiple training spots, so if you're playing with friends, there's not just one person who takes this training spot and then the other ones just fend for themselves. There's the Lunar Lander, there's Pack-a-Punch, there's Spawn, and then there's Stamina for you more hardcore players. The second thing is that this map introduced 2 of the most iconic perks in all of zombies, being PhD Flopper and Stamina. Number 3 is that this is the first map in all of zombies to have its own main Easter egg. Now let's go over some of the few negative things about this map. Number 1 is the monkeys. Now the monkeys aren't that bad, they're just a massive inconvenience. If you're on solo and you have 4 perks with all the doors open, you're probably going to lose at least 1 or 2 of those perks, unless you're a complete god at this game. But one cool thing is that if you do kill all the monkeys without them even touching a machine, they do give you a free perk. Now, and the second thing is that this map is very, very easy. Debatably, almost as easy as Revelations. I don't really know if that's a reason, but that's just my interpretation of it. So Ascension, solid map, comes in at number 10. At the number 9 spot, with an average rank of 10.265, ooh, it's one of my favorites, it's Shadows of Evil. And this map is one of those maps that just aged really well throughout the course of Black Ops 3. I remember when this map first came out, people didn't like this map. I didn't even like this map when it first came out. But this map has just grown on me and probably a lot of you guys as well. Like, there's just so much going on with this map that's just so great. It's just the atmosphere of this map is just so alive. And it definitely is one of my favorite atmospheres in all of zombies. But I do know that this map isn't without its negatives. Number 1, the rituals do kind of mess with the flow of this map, and really does make this map a bit of a chore at times. It's one of those maps where the first time you play it in a while, it's just one of the best things ever, but then if you try to play it again like the next day, it just isn't as fun. But then when you just give it some time, it's so much fun. But overall, Shadows of Evil comes in at number 9. In the number 8 spot, barely edging out Shadows of Evil with an average rank of 10.244, we've got Gorod Krovi. So Gorod Krovi at the time it came out really was just a refresher from the complex nature that zombies had become. It really did just throw it back kind of to the Black Ops 1 days where it was just a little bit more simplistic, but not too simplistic. And all the things you did in this map involved you killing zombies and just advancing through the rounds like you should be. Like for example, you got the modules, which allow you to plug into a machine, protect this little capsule, so you can unlock the dragon to go to Pack Punch. So this map didn't really involve you having to do a bunch of chores to advance through the rounds. Plus it had the ray gun Mark III being the main weapon of this map, which it actually was a pretty good weapon. And it was out of the box, so you didn't have to do any annoying chores to get the weapon. And this map is actually quite difficult, because there's just so much chaos in those higher rounds, which can either make this map good or bad in some people's opinions. And this probably contained for sure one of the hardest Easter eggs in all of zombies. So you guys ranked Gorod Krovi at number 8. In the number 7 spot, and because I like to think of things in tiers, this is the top third of the list, and this is where we get to the good maps. And with an average rank of 9.942, we've got Moon, the DLC 4 of Black Ops 1. So I'm just going to say that I've never been a fan of this map, but that has nothing to do with how good this map is. When you first spawn into this map, you're immediately into the chaos of zombies. All zombies are going after you, even dogs, and you just gotta train for your life, or just not get points and just go straight to the moon. But you probably should try to get points while you're there. And if you're good enough, you can get Jug or even Pack-a-Punch. Then we get on the moon, get the zero gravity, which is a new touch to zombies at the time. And then you got the biodome as your main area to train, which is very, very OP since it's so big. But I know that the main reason that Moon has such a good reputation is because of its epic Easter egg. Now trust me, you do not want to do this Easter egg solo because it's a pain, but if you just get a friend or two to play with you with this Easter egg, it truly is such a wonderful experience. And seeing those missiles crash into the earth is a true icon of zombies. But of course there are some little flaws such as the astronaut and the excavators, but in this case, the positive weighed out the negatives. And you guys ranked Moon at number 7. In the number 6 spot with an average rank of 9.733, we've got Buried. I'm sorry. If you guys don't know the story, basically, I made a worst to best ranking of my own a few months back, and I put Buried at number 20, and a lot of people were very pissed off about that, and now I see why, because so many people love Buried so much. I did get a lot of dislikes, and probably half of those are just because I put Buried at number 20, and the other half is just because I'm so bad at speaking. I mean, for me to get 3 seconds worth of commentary, it literally takes me about 4 minutes just because I'm so bad at speaking. Okay, that's a little bit of an exaggeration, but you get the point that I just mess up my lines way too much. Anyways, let's not get too off topic. I'm so sorry. Some of you might know I don't like Buried, but Buried is high on this list, so of course I've got to say positive things about this map. So Buried really did add a lot of very unique features that really never been seen back in Zombies again, such as having Leroy, or if you want to be more official, Arthur, which is the big guy, and he's able to do a lot of things for you, such as build buildables for you, keep the box where it should be, and even break down barriers. And then there's also the witch's house, which if you kill all the witches in the go around once every 5 to 6 rounds, you get a free perk. And there's the maze, which is actually a very cool idea, to have a maze that changes every game to get the pack punch. And plus there's so many little weird secrets with this map. Like the one with the ballistic knives shooting a target and getting a free perk. That's like the only one I know, but I know there's so many more. And this was DLC 3, which is a DLC that brought the ray gun Mark III into zombies. And the western theme was actually pretty cool. And the one thing I do see this map get a lot of flack for is being very easy. And not easy in the way that Ascension and Revelations are easy, but just easy in just such a, I don't know how to say it, like non-skillful way. Where you just build buildables, get the paralyzer, and just press a button for hours to get to high rounds. But of course, you don't have to play that way if you don't want to. So, you guys put Buried at number 6. In the number 5 spot with an average rank of 9.508, we've got Der Riese. And if my sources are correct, Der Riese is the map that made zombies go from pretty well known to extremely popular. And the thing with Der Riese is that there really isn't any flaw with this map that I can think of. You could say the World at War version is just glitchy and that Wonderwolf takes your jug. But that's more of a World at War problem than it really is of a map problem. And I think that one of the main things that made Der Riese be this high on the list is its nostalgia factor. Just camping on that catwalk with your PPSH, your MG42, your Browning, your ray gun. So many memories. Plus, if you don't feel like camping, you can also train down below as well, which on World at War it's probably not worth training since the game's so glitchy and it's kind of a confined area. And Black Ops 1 it's doable, and in Black Ops 3 it's easy. So the thing with Der Riese is I think that Treyarch just did so much right with it. which is why I think you guys ranked it at number 5. Coming in at the number 4 spot with an average rank of 7.175 and my personal favorite map of all time, it's Der Eisendrache. The main thing with this map, and the reason I personally think it's the best of all time, is that it appeases all kinds of players, whether you're a casual player or you're an expert player. If you want to play casually, just play casually. You don't have to build the bows, just train in the courtyard and have some fun. If you want to play with some complexity, go ahead and build the bows. Take your choice of which one you want. They're all really not that hard to build either, except maybe for the fire bow sometimes. But one thing I will admit about Der Eisendrache, and maybe the reason it didn't get any higher on this list, is that it is a little bit easy. I mean, you really don't have to be that good at this game to get to a very high round at this map. Because you can build the lightning bow and have gobblegum, you can make it to almost any round you can dream of, unless the panzer gets in your way and kills you. But overall, I don't have much else to say. You guys put Der Eisendrache at number 4. In the number 3 spot, barely edging out Der Eisendrache, with an average rank of 7.112, we've got Kino Der Toten. And this is very surprising to me, because even though this is one of my personal favorite maps of all time, I know it's a lot of other people's personal favorite maps of all time, I didn't think people liked Kino Der Toten as much of putting it at number 3. But apparently I was wrong. Kino Der Toten is a very classic map. It's the first on-disc map of Black Ops 1, and since it was an on-disc map, it was probably the first map that a lot of you guys played. Probably most of the reason why it got such a high ranking on this list. And I think the main reason for this, and this isn't a bad thing, I am guilty of this too, it's such a nostalgic map. There's just so much nostalgia when playing this. Just having the thunder gun on the stage, there's just nothing like it. So you guys might not like what I'm about to say, but I think if this was actually the DLC 4 of World at War like it was supposed to be, I don't think it would be as popular as it is now. Because I feel like the reason people were able to have the nostalgia for it is because it was more accessible to people since it's only on the disc and not in a DLC. But I could definitely be wrong. But Kino was just such a simple map. It was an easy map, but it wasn't like over the top easy. And it's surely for me and for a lot of you guys as well, a very nostalgic map. And comes in at number 3. So now we're down to our final 2. It's between Origins and Mob of the Dead. Which one is it? Let's find out. So coming in at the number 2 spot with an average rank of 6.008, we've got Mob of the Dead, which of course means that Origins is number 1, but let's talk about Mob of the Dead first. So I will admit, Mob of the Dead isn't one of my favorite maps, not one of my least favorite maps, but there is so much right with this map. There are just so many things to do in this map, such as getting the Hell's Retriever, upgrading to the Hell's Redeemer, getting the Blundergat, upgrading it all the way to the Patrolic Withering, getting the Golden Spork. There's just so much to do. And one thing about Mob of the Dead is that there's just the vibe it gives off. There's just nothing like it in zombies. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know how to really tell you guys what I'm talking about. But if you play this map, you might know what I'm talking about, where there's just nothing like the vibe of this map when you're playing it. And the Afterlife system, I know a lot of people really liked it, but in a way, I think it might have been to the game a little bit too easy, just because you get so many lives. But that's just me. So Mob of the Dead, you guys ranked it at number 2, which means now let's talk about our number 1 spot, Origins. Origins is the DLC 4 map of Black Ops 2, and boy did it deliver. Just like Mob of the Dead, there's just so much to do with this map, such as doing the Wonder Fists, getting the staffs, even doing the Easter egg, and they even introduced the Wonder Fizz as well. And this map is very interactive as well, such as having the robots stomp on the map and possibly killing you, but they also do hold the wind staff parts. Even the weather of the map impacts the game as well, such as only being able to get ice staff parts when it snows, or having to shoot a plane out of the sky when it's a certain weather. There's just so much to talk about with this map. It was the first map to add true challenges and get rewards for certain challenges. It had dig sites. There's just so much I can mention, and I'm just not gonna mention everything because I don't want this video to go on too long. But the one thing about Origins that might set it apart from Mob of the Dead is the Easter egg. Mob of the Dead didn't have a bad Easter egg, but there's just something about Origins Easter egg, even though it was very long, it was a long process, it's just so accomplishing. So with that, you guys ranked Origins as the best map in Call of Duty Zombies history. So, whether you guys agree with this ranking or not, well, of course you probably have to agree to some extent because you guys made this ranking. But anyways, if you didn't get to participate in this ranking, again, I will do this at the end of the Black Ops 4 cycle. I don't know if the game's going to be called Black Ops 4 because it hasn't been announced at the time of this video, but after the new Treyarch cycle goes around, I'm for sure doing this again. You'll have a chance to participate at that time. But thank you guys again so much just for participating in this poll. It was so much fun to do. And if you want to see when I post my next video, just subscribe to my channel. It's not that hard. Just click subscribe and you're subscribed. If you want to follow me on Twitter, it's not that hard. Go to the description. It'll say follow me on Twitter. Click that link. Just press a button. Follow me on Twitter. If you don't have a Twitter, make one. And lastly, if you want to leave a like, go ahead and leave a like. It's not that hard. You just click the like button. But it's also not that hard to leave a dislike either. It's up to you. Okay. So I hope you guys found this video very interesting to see how most people rank their zombies maps. Because I found it very interesting. But anyways, I don't want this video to go too long. So with that, I'll see you in the next video!